Ever scrolled through Amazon and found something so wildly overpriced you had to double-check if it was real? I'm not talking about quirky gadgets or novelty items. I'm talking about a plain USB stick or a basic t-shirt with a price tag that rivals a luxury car. These listings break our sense of value and make you wonder what's really going on here. Today we're diving into one of the most expensive gadgets I've ever seen on Amazon. A server with a price tag that could buy you a high-end sports car. This isn't just any server, it's a relic from a different era listed for a mind-blowing sum. Is it a hidden treasure for a niche collector or one of the boldest scams on the internet? We're going to investigate the product, its history, and why anyone would list it for such an outrageous price. We'll compare it to what that kind of money can buy in today's tech world, and trust me, it's a lot. From genuine rarity to market manipulation and even money laundering, we'll explore every angle. It's a tech detective story, and our main suspect is a $100,000 server sitting in a digital warehouse. So let's get into it and see if we can separate the tech from the trash, the treasure from the trap. Buckle up, this is going to get weird. Let's start with the listing itself. Here it is. The IBM Z-Series Z990 mainframe server, listed on Amazon for nearly $99,000, plus shipping. The page looks normal, but the product photo is a blurry shot of a massive beige box, straight out of a 90s hacker movie. The description? Bare bones. A few bullet points about enterprise class and legacy system. No reviews, no ratings, no evidence anyone's ever bought one. It's sold by a third-party seller, not Amazon or IBM, which only deepens the mystery. The presentation is shockingly poor for something this expensive, just one low-res photo, no details, no support info. The IBM Z990 is a mainframe computer, once the backbone of banks, governments, and airlines. Released in 2003, it's ancient by tech standards, like selling a chariot as a modern car. So why is this relic sitting on Amazon with a price tag that could buy you a house deposit? Is it a rare collector's item, a desperate seller's gamble, or something more suspicious? The lack of information and effort in the listing is a huge red flag. If you're selling a six-figure machine, wouldn't you at least try to make it look appealing? Instead, it's just a lonely, blurry photo, and a price that makes no sense. Let's dig deeper. What's actually inside this thing? Is there any reason it could be worth the money? Or is this just the world's most expensive paperweight? Let's find out. So, what do you get for your 100 grand? The Z990 was a powerhouse in its day, with up to 32 specialized processors, not the kind you'd find in your laptop. Its real strength was parallel processing, handling thousands of tasks at once for banks and airlines. It could support up to 256 GB of expensive proprietary RAM and connected to storage arrays that filled entire rooms. Everything about it was custom-built by IBM, no off-the-shelf parts, no easy upgrades. Physically, it's a beast the size of a fridge, over 2,000 pounds, and a power-hungry monster needing industrial cooling. You can't just plug it in at home, it needs a data center. Running it for a year could cost tens of thousands in electricity alone. But here's the catch. By today's standards, it's completely outclassed. Modern hardware is faster, smaller, and far more efficient. The Z990 is a monument to a bygone era, impressive in its time but now obsolete. So, does its historical significance justify the price? Or is it just a relic with a price tag no one can explain? Let's look at why these machines mattered, and who, if anyone, still needs them. Because right now, it's looking less like treasure and more like tech nostalgia. But there's more to the story. Mainframes like the Z990 trace their roots back to the 1950s, giant machines that powered banks, governments, and NASA. IBM dominated this world. And for decades, if you were a big company, you had an IBM mainframe. It was the engine of the global economy. The Z-Series, including the Z990, was built for zero downtime, designed to run non-stop, year after year. These systems processed ATM transactions, flight reservations, and insurance policies, often running decades-old software. As tech evolved, many predicted the mainframe's death, but it refused to die. Rewriting all that legacy software would be a nightmare, so companies stuck with what worked, upgrading mainframes over time. The Z990 was a mid-2000s upgrade for organizations still running even older systems. Its value wasn't just in hardware but in supporting critical, ancient software. But today, who really needs a Z990? Most companies have moved on, and the few that haven't are unlikely to shop for mission-critical hardware on Amazon. So, is there any real-world demand left, or is this just a digital fossil with a fantasy price? Let's put that $100,000 price tag in perspective. For that money you could build a server rack that would obliterate the Z990 in every way. We're talking multiple high-end servers, each with dozens of modern CPU cores, terabytes of fast RAM, and petabytes of lightning-quick SSD storage. The performance difference isn't just big, it's exponential. Modern servers are smaller, more efficient, and run on open platforms with global support. You could run Windows, Linux, or any virtualization software you want, and you'd save a fortune on electricity and space. There's simply no logical reason to buy a Z990 for performance. It's like buying a rusty old truck for the price of a fleet of Teslas. So, if it's not about power or features, what's really going on with this listing? The mystery only deepens. Let's explore why anyone would price it this high, and whether there's any logic, or something shadier, behind it. If it's not about performance, why is the Z990 listed for nearly $100,000? One theory: extreme rarity and niche demand. Maybe a company somewhere desperately needs this exact model to keep ancient software running. In that case, the seller can name their price, waiting for a 1 in a million buyer. Or maybe the price is just a placeholder, set absurdly high to keep the listing active until more stock arrives. Sometimes, sellers use this trick to game Amazon's system, but there's a darker possibility: market manipulation or even money laundering. Overpriced listings can be used to move large sums of money under the guise of a legitimate sale. The server might never ship, it's just a vessel for a suspicious transaction. With no reviews, no details, and a sketchy seller, it's hard not to wonder, is this a rare rescue, a placeholder, or a front for something else? Time to get skeptical. The idea of a desperate company buying a Z990 off Amazon is far-fetched. Anyone relying on this hardware would have support contracts and backup plans. The seller's page is another red flag little feedback, a random mix of products, and zero professionalism. No warranty, no shipping info, no installation support, just a blurry photo, and a sky-high price. How would you even receive a 2,000-pound server? The logistics are a nightmare. No sane IT manager would risk it. The money laundering theory is intriguing, but using Amazon for this seems clumsy and risky. Still, the lack of transparency invites suspicion. When a listing is this vague, it's only natural to assume the worst. This just doesn't pass the smell test. I reached out to experts, retired IBM engineers and mainframe consultants. Their verdict? The Amazon listing is almost certainly not a legitimate offer. Real mainframe sales happen through certified resellers, with contracts, support, and documentation, not on public e-commerce sites. The actual value of a used Z990 is a fraction of the Amazon price, closer to scrap metal. No serious company would ever buy mission-critical hardware this way. The most likely explanations: a placeholder price, a scam, or a front for moving money. The hardware itself is nearly worthless without software licenses which aren't included and can't be transferred. The expert consensus: this is no hidden treasure, just a suspicious listing. So what's the verdict? All signs point to scam or scheme, not hidden treasure. There's no practical reason to buy a 20-year-old Z990 for this price. Modern systems are better, cheaper, and safer. The most plausible explanations: a placeholder, a desperate reseller's gamble, or a front for illicit transactions. The listing is more about the price tag than the product itself. It's a ghost in the machine of e-commerce, a cautionary tale for anyone shopping online. If a deal looks too strange to be true, it probably is. Always check the seller, question wild prices, and never buy expensive tech based on a single blurry photo. The real value of this Z990 is the story it tells. About tech history, online mysteries, and the weird corners of the internet. It's not a treasure, it's a trap, or at best a very expensive question mark. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride.